Hello everyone. So today in this class we will discuss about the anatomy of the large intestine. We have earlier discussed the anatomy of the small intestine and also the physiological section of the small intestine also completed. So today we will start the large intestine. As you all know, small intestine pushes the material into the large intestine. So the last part of the small intestine was the ileum, and here this ileum enters into the large intestine, or this ileum connects with the large intestine. So from here, from this point, there is a junction between the small intestine and the large intestine. So the last part of the small intestine, that is the ileum, and this first part of the small intestine, this one is the first part of the small intestine. So it connects with the, this part is known as the cecum. So this ileum connects with the cecum at this point, and this particular point is known as the ileocecal junction. This is the ileocecal junction. So this part is known as the ileocecal junction. Means the large intestine starts from this point. This starts from this point, then it runs upward, then it takes a turn, and now downward and to the midline, and from here, just near to the midline, it ascends again, right? And then it takes a turn, and this part goes downward. Now this portion also runs in the medial side of the body, and here this portion ends at this point, right? Okay, so we will discuss each and every part of the large intestine. First of all, the basic thing which we should know about this is that the length of the large intestine, and that is around 1.5 meter. So the first basic point about the large intestine is its length, and the length is around 1.5 meter, right? So the length of large intestine is actually less than the length of the small intestine, right? So first thing is the length. Second thing, what are the main parts of this tube? That is the important, and we will discuss the length along with its part, right? So the first portion where this large intestine starts, and it starts from the ileocecal junction, this portion, this I marked with 1, this portion is known as the cecum. This portion is actually known as the cecum. So the basic part of this large intestine is, first one is the cecum. This part is the first part, and this one is known as the cecum, right? So this one is the cecum, and second part, this one, this whole loop, this whole tube, the all the part is actually known as the colon. This part is known as the colon. So the second part, which one is the second part? The second part is the colon, right? Here we will come back to the cecum. Here in the cecum, you can see one more projection, and this projection goes this this side, just below to the ileocecal junction, and normally it opens around 2 centimeter below from the junction of the ileum. So this projection, this particular projection is known as the appendix. This is appendix. So here we will discuss the cecum into two parts. One is the cecum, one is the cecum, and second one is the appendix, right? Second one is the appendix. Now we will go to the colon. This colon has main, basically main regions. This one is the, as this part runs upward, that's why it is called as the ascending colon. The part of the colon which ascends, the part of the colon which ascends. So the second part of the colon is the first part of the colon is the ascending colon, right? And from here, this part run right through this way and then after upward. So this one, this whole part, this whole middle part is known as the transverse colon. This part is known as the transverse colon. So this one is the third part, right? And the fourth part starts from here and it runs downward. And it runs downward, that's why it is named as descending colon, right? So the third one is the descending colon. This part is the descending colon, that is the fourth one, right? And from here, this part runs towards the almost horizontal and towards the midline. This portion is known as the sigmoid colon. So this portion is known as the sigmoid colon, right? So first part is the cecum, and the basic part or the subsection of the cecum. One is the cecum and second one is the appendix. In the colon, we have four major parts. One which ascends is the ascending part. Second, which runs horizontally almost, that is the transverse colon. And the third part, which runs downward, that is the descending colon. And the final one is the sigmoid colon, right? Okay, let's discuss the dimension and the length of these parts. That is very important. First of all, cecum. We will write first length. You can make the notes. First is length and second is dimension. Second is dimension, right? So we will write, in this row we will write the length and in this row we will write the dimension, right? Let's come to the cecum. Cecum is the only part of the large intestine which is more wider than its length, right? So the length of the cecum is around 6 centimeter. Length of the cecum is around 6 centimeter. But the dimension of the cecum is around 7 centimeter. But the dimension means its width is more than its length. Its diameter is around 7 centimeter. Okay. Now come to the second part, and second part is the appendix. So the length of the appendix may vary. It may from the 2 centimeter to even 20 centimeter. So the length of the appendix can be from the 2 centimeter to 20 centimeter, right? And the dimension of this appendix is around 5 mm. So the dimension is around 5 mm. That is the part of the cecum and appendix. Now come to the ascending colon, right? So this ascending colon has a length of around 15 centimeter. The length of the ascending colon is around 15 centimeter and the diameter is around 6 centimeter. Diameter of the ascending colon is around 6 centimeter, right? Next part, and that is the transverse colon. This part marked with number 3. This one is the transverse colon, and the transverse colon, length of the transverse colon is around 50 centimeter. The length of this part is around 50 centimeter. As you can see that whole loop, and the length is surely length is more than all these parts. So the length of this transverse column is about 50 centimeters. And what about the dimension? Its dimension remains almost the same of the ascending column, and that is around 6 centimeter. Right. Now come to the descending column. This portion. Part of the descending column, length of the descending column is, as this part is almost bigger than the ascending column. So the length of the descending column must be greater than the length of the ascending column, right? So the length of the descending column is around 25 centimeter. 25 centimeter, and the diameter is slightly larger than the transverse column, and that is around 7 centimeters. That is around 7 centimeters. And now this part is known as the sigmoid column. That number 5 part, that is known as the sigmoid column. And this part looks much smaller, but it's because here it runs posteriorly. So the length increases, but it couldn't show here. That's why the length of the sigmoid column is around 40 centimeter. Length of the sigmoid column is around 40 centimeter, and dimension almost the same as the ascending column. Right. So these are the basic length and dimension of this particular part. Right. One more thing, below to the sigmoid column, there is the rectum. So the next part of the large intestine is the rectum. The fourth part would be the anal canal, and fifth, you can say, the fifth part, which is an opening, that is called the anus. That is the anus. So the basic part of this large intestine are the cecum, which includes cecum and appendix both. The colon, which includes 4 parts. One is the ascending colon, one is the transverse colon, one is the descending colon, and last one is the sigmoid colon. And the third part is the rectum, which is this one, marked with this one 6, which is the rectum. The seventh part below to this rectum, that is the anal canal. You can draw it like here. That is anal canal, and the last one is the anus. Right. So this whole is the diagram of the large intestine, and these are the basic parts having a length of this size and having a dimension of this size. Right. So this is the basic detail of the large intestine. Okay. Let's come to one more important thing. As you all know, that all the organs which are situated in the abdominal cavity have some connection with the peritoneum, right? So what are the peritoneal relation of this part? This is also known as the gut, the large gut. Small intestine as the small gut, and this one is the large gut, right? So this must have some connection with the peritoneum, and these are the important marks. So what are the peritoneal relation of the large intestine, right? This portion, that is the ascending portion, and this portion, that is the descending portion. These both portions are retroperitoneal. These both portions are retroperitoneal portion. This one and this one. These both are retroperitoneal. Right. And because these are retroperitoneal, so means that on its anterior aspect there would be peritoneum. Peritoneum would be on the anterior aspect of these both parts. So you can say the peritoneum covers these parts anteriorly and by the sides, right? And posterior part is just behind the posterior abdominal wall. So these two portion, these two parts, the marked with number 2 and number 4, ascending colon and descending colon, these two parts are retroperitoneal, and peritoneum covers the anterior aspect of these two, right? Second one, the rectum. Rectum is actually partially covered with, this is actually partially covered with peritoneum. So these this portion is partially covered with peritoneum, and the anal canal doesn't have any contact with the peritoneum. So this part doesn't come in contact with the peritoneum. This part doesn't come in contact with the peritoneum. While this portion, all the remaining portion are intraperitoneal. So all the remaining portion is intraperitoneal, and except the ascending colon, the descending colon, these both are retroperitoneal. Rectum is partially covered with peritoneum, while the anal canal doesn't come in contact with the peritoneum, right? So these are the basic relations, or you can say the peritoneal relation of the large intestine. Okay, next, come to the next point, the very basic question, and um, exam point of view, this is very good question, very important question, that what are the differences between the small intestine and the large intestine. So let us see about the differences, right? So the very first and very common difference between these two are, number one, of course, the width, and that's why this portion is known as the large intestine. So the first difference between the small and large intestine, that large intestine has a wider dimension, wider dimension. So the width of the large intestine is much larger than the small intestine. That is the basic difference, and this is how it is called large intestine. Number two, in this diagram also, you can see these lines, these these particular lines, these are the specialty of the large intestine. These are the specialty of the large intestine, and the these are the segments, these are known as the segments of the large intestine, and these segments are known as the saculation. These are known as the, this one is the second, these are known as the saculation or hostrations. These are the hostrations. So this this saculation and hostrations, saculation or hostration, these both are the same. The saculation and hostration is the peculiarity of the large intestine. And one more thing, that if you see the large intestine, you will see a band of muscles between the this. You will see a band of the muscle on the wall, and these are normally band of the longitudinal muscle fiber. These are the band of the longitudinal muscle fiber, and this line, these bands make a line in the on the aspect, anterior aspect, and this line is known as the tenia coli. This is the Taenia coli. So these are the basic differences. These three are the basic differences between the small intestine and between the large intestine. Right. One more thing, we have also seen this structure in the small intestine, that this part comes upward, then it turns abruptly, and where it turns abruptly it make a flexure, right? So this part is situated in the right side or in the right cavity of the abdomen, and that's why this flexure is known as the right right colic flexor. This one is the right colic flexor, and this is situated on the left side of the cavity and left side of the body. That's why this one is the left colic flexor. Left colic flexor. This one is the left colic flexor. So the ascending colon, let us start with this. The ascending colon starts from the cecum to the right colic flexor, and this transverse colon starts from the right colic flexor to the left colic flexor. So these two flexors are the part of the transverse colon. These two flexors are the part of the transverse colon, right? That's the main important thing. One more important thing, the development or embryological development of this intestine. As we have seen in the duodenum, where is the opening of the pancreatic duct, the upper part or the proximal part of that portion was from the foregut, and the distal part was from the midgut. Here what happens, the left side of the portion, sorry, the right side of the portion, that is the cecum. Okay, let me write first. What are the parts situated on the right side of the body? One is the cecum. Second one, which part ascends, that is the ascending colon. Ascending colon. And of course a projection related to cecum, and that is appendix. Or let me write here so you can easily understand. Cecum with appendix. Cecum with appendix. The first part, cecum with appendix. Second one is the descending colon, is the ascending colon, and third one, this part, or you can say the part almost till here. That is the two-third, right two-third, more specifically, right two-third. So right two-third of transverse colon. Transverse colon. So right two-third of the transverse colon, the ascending part, the cecum, and the appendix. These parts are derived embryologically from the midgut. These parts are from the midgut, right? And the remaining portion, what are the remaining portions? Number one, the one-third remains here of the transverse colon. So the left one-third, let me separate these two. Okay, so the left right two-third of transverse colon is here, and the remaining left one-third of transverse colon, and next part is the descending colon. Next one is the descending colon. So second is descending colon, descending colon, and below next to this descending colon is the sigmoid colon. Next is the sigmoid colon, and remaining is the rectum and anal canal. Anal canal. So these parts are derived from the hindgut. So these are derived from the hindgut. Okay. So the embryological development of the large intestine, that the left portion, including the two-thirds of the transverse colon, is actually derived from the midgut, and the remaining part of the large intestine is derived from the hindgut. These are the basic structure and basic peculiarities and the basic detail of the large intestine. So in our next class, we will discuss about particular portions or segments. Thank you very much.